So today I wanted to get into um like what it means to be honest with yourself and your skills and your ability, right? That's very important because uh you have to be able to assess yourself and your situation at all times. And that's something that I struggle with for a very long time. And really being able to say, okay, when is it time to shift gears or not to shift gears and stuff like that. So I think just to be able to really critically assess your weaknesses and your strengths, and just being honest with yourself, and being able to move from there, and not necessarily being able to allow a short term emotion um, make a decision, right? So being able to control your emotions is very important. Um, when it comes to being able to assess yourself, and being able to move from that, right? Because it's very difficult uh, if someone says something to you, and then okay, your emotions tend to say, okay, I want to defend that, right? I want to be able to, I want to fight back against that, right? Um, that's not always the case. I don't really think everyone isn't everyone isn't out to attack an individual, right? So a lot of times, when someone criticizes me or critique me, a lot of it is just being able to listen and like observe and absorb information. And again, being open minded enough to know that, okay, I could be wrong or something that I'm doing is not right, and being able to self correct, right? And I think that goes along with reasons why you know accountants are very accountants are very um accountants are very well, they should really be good at critical thinking and being able to self assess. But the hardest thing is, I mean, I can go out and solve everybody else's problems, right? The hardest thing to do is to solve your own problems, right? And I think, like, if when I create my future firm, like I said, I want to create another CPA firm. Um, I really want to be able to have a better understanding of, okay, what parts of the organization is the most critical as far as running the organization, and what parts of the organizations do I need to correct or something like that, right? And the reasons why you hire an accountant, yeah, you could hire an accountant just to do like the basic bookkeeping and the basic accounting, right? The whole aspect of hiring an accountant is really the reason why you should hire an accountant is to kind of build relationships and how to grow your organization, right? And I mean, you can't force nobody to want your services. You can't force anybody to, you know, to be in a relationship with you as far as a professional relationship. But I think there are things that I do believe that there are a lot of individuals have a very hard time at being able to critically assess their situation, right? And the number one reasons why organizations fail, especially small organizations, is that they're short on cash flow, right? Lack of controls. And what I mean by controls is that there's not necessarily a second look as far as what's being spent in and out of a banking account, right? Unless you're really good at being able to control your spending and to control your income and your spending, I mean, that's a different story, right? I mean, I know individuals that generate a lot of income for themselves that are not necessarily good at that, right? They're not good at controlling the financial aspect of the organization. That's not what they're good at. They're good at providing the services, right? And this goes along with me as an accountant, right? I gotta critically assess myself, right? Um, yes, I am in sales, right? In operations. I'm pretty decent at running businesses. I'm pretty decent at the the boring stuff. The whole thing is for me, I want to be more boring. I want to get good at doing the boring things, right? Because in my head, that's where the true value comes from. The true value comes from getting good at doing the boring things. I know that sounds just asinine, right? I mean, that's not too many people who want to get good at doing the boring things. But the true value is get good at doing the boring things, right? And yeah, I mean, I can honestly say that okay, I can, you know, and being able to collaborate, right? Being able to collaborate and not competing is the key for success, especially in this business, especially in this environment that we're in right now, in this current business environment, right? Um, individuals that are collaborating with each other are getting a lot farther ahead in their professional life, in their personal life, than individuals who are not good at collaborating. I'm not going to. I mean, I don't know too many people who are that competitive in a sense that okay, they can just outcompete somebody in a business um, environment, right? I mean, there's only a few people who can do. I mean, the only individuals that I can see who do that, they're not even really like. For example, let's just say if you love making donuts, right? If you have a donut shop or a coffee shop or whatever, you just like making donuts. You like making coffee. That's your thing, right? You don't intentionally want to go out and be competitive against another coffee shop. You just love what you do on a day-to-day basis that you just happen to be the best coffee maker in the city, right? That's the only time where I can really see it. And it's not even because they're competitive, right? You know, and I mean, you're only going to get that far in being competitive, right? So, partnerships and stuff like that with accounting is designed to say, okay, well, how can I create better controls over my business, right? Um, where can I invest? What is the better return on investment, right? Where can I cut costs? Where can I provide get an additional vendor, right? I mean, that's the whole point of an accountant, right? Or even whatever you want to call it. Not all accountants are at the same level as far as like their in-depth understanding of business. I mean, you might have an accountant that all they want to do is just do accounting, which that's fine. That provides a lot of value right there, right? Is knowing and understanding your cash flow position at all times is very critical, right? Um, and then that's crucial. You might get some accountants like me. Like I said, I'm very I enjoy business operations day to day, right? As far as like I think people misconstrue what accounting is. I think a lot of accounting could be technically speaking, accounting is a management function. It's a management function. So what I mean by that is that an accountant is supposed to design the you build relationships with an accountant so they can help you throughout the year make better decisions as far as, okay, where's my cash flow position? Okay, how can I control my spending? Right? How can I invest um um in my organization, right? For long-term value, right? I mean, I guess yeah, you could go and get your taxes done. You could go you can go get your taxes done, right? You can go get the bookkeeping done. That's all value added services that's very necessary. Um, but again, there's another layer of accounting that I see where you have to establish a relationship with the accounting to have him more involved in the management function, right? I mean, obviously there's levels of that, right? If you're just trying to kind of even the business owners that are just trying to get by, there's a lot of business owners that are trying to that are they having a hard time just getting by, right? They just think that they can wake up and their customer's going to always be there, and they're not necessarily doing the other things in their business. Those businesses might not survive. It's just like I said, we live in a world of uncertainty, and the organizations that I see that are surviving at the small to mid-sized business level, they all have relationships with accountants, right? As far as a serious business, a serious entrepreneurs, right? And trust and credibility is obviously those are the biggest factors in building a relationship with anybody. So that goes back to being able to critically assess yourself, and understanding your weaknesses and strengths, um, and understanding that. So you got to understand that you got to be around people, including professionals, that are going to help you succeed. So it doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent, a tax preparer. These individuals provide services to help you succeed, right? So that's kind of what I want to get into today. I got to study today. So being able to really seriously critically assess yourself, and not necessarily making emotional decisions that is going to affect your long term perspective is very critical. So control your emotions. All right, bye.